All right. All right, y'all. About ready to get started here. Let's see. There we go. Marcus Bell in the building. What's going on, man? All right, so let's get started here in another minute. Got a few things to talk about today, man. I don't know which one to start with. I mean, what do you think, Marcus? What topic are we gonna start with? We can talk about Carla. Let's see. Carla Esparza. She feels confident in her Rose rematch coming up. She feels confident that the fight's going to be made. We can talk about that first, or we can talk about Cynthia Calvillo. Her recent comments she made as far as her grappling. She feels like she has the best grappling at 125. And, that's going to give her a good chance against Valentina Shevchenko. We could talk about that first. Or I give you all my thoughts on Marina Rodriguez and her not taking the fight with Mackenzie Dern in July. What should we start with, man? He said Jessica Andrade and Cynthia. Oh, man, I already talked about that. I mean, those are the three topics we talking about today. So we got to choose from those three. Well, let's see. I'll pick. Don't matter. I'll give you my thoughts. Let me see. Let's see. Let's see what we'll talk about first. Yeah, I kind of want to go ahead and discuss Cynthia Calvillo. I mean, I'll talk about the Jessica Andrade part too, but I want to talk about what she said as far as in this recent interview. Okay, Stick Summer Dogs. He wants to talk Rose versus Esparza first. Then, I mean, those are the topics I have. So okay, we'll do that first. Then Marcus said Jessica Andrade and Cynthia. I mean, that wasn't on the list, but we'll come back to that. I was more interested in what Cynthia Calvillo said about Valentina as far as her grappling. I just kind of wanted to talk about that. But yeah, let's start with Rose. We'll start with the Rose and Esparza. Matter of fact, let me pull up the interview because she kind of went in depth. Carla Esparza, she recently, did her interview, talked about her fight, her title eliminator, how she felt like this fight was going to guarantee her a title shot. And she made that statement like, come on, Dana. Everybody wants to see this fight. Let's just make this fight. Even Rose wants to fight. You know what I mean? So she's letting it be known. She's not being a fighter that's saying, oh, okay, I'll just wait in line, or I'll do what Dana says, or I'll just take on another fight. She's making it known that she wants to fight, right? So let me go ahead and pull up this. Let me see what we got. Let's see this interview here that she did. All right, so Carla Esparza says she's feeling confident. She's feeling confident. I'm just kind of read through the interview that the excuse me, that the rematch is going to happen. So yeah, let's go down. Let's go down this thing here. Oh yeah, just forgot to. Hope everybody's doing good. It's nice weather out here. Real nice out here. I mean, it's like 75. I mean, it was like 95 a few days ago, but it's like 75 today. So it's been some nice weather the past few days. So yeah, I just been chilling. Stick Summer Dogs. And we're at Roger. What's going on, man? So yeah, pull up this interview here. Carla Esparza said this recently in her interview. She said, I felt like I really needed to make a statement. There was a lot riding on this fight. I felt like I needed to make a statement to solidify my spot for a potential title fight. And I think we all said that. That's pretty much how everybody felt, right? You had to go in there and look good. You had to go in there and dominate. You just couldn't really go in there and like put on a boring performance. Like that's what I was scared of for Carla Esparza. I'm not gonna lie. Like if she would turn this into like a wrestling clinic where she just went in there and kind of laid on Jan for 3 rounds, I think Dana would have made an argument to say, nah, she's not getting the rematch. You know what I mean? He would have said, nah, that's not gonna bring fans out. Like if she would have just went in there, put on a snooze fest. I mean, yeah, she'll win. Yeah, she'll win the fight. Win 3 rounds. But Dana wants to see a statement made, which is why he shouldn't be playing games right now. He should just go ahead and say this is a go. So she said this also. And I'm just kind of read through what she said as far as a technical standpoint too, because it's a lot of the stuff that I called too as far as how the fight would go. If she just fought smart. She said I expected her to control the distance a little bit more. In her fight with Claudia, it seemed like every time Claudia went in or anybody went in to strike with her, she was out. In and out, kind of everything was on her time, which is pretty much why I said, she's just going to have to be in and out on Carla. But in this fight, she said she expected her to be a little bit more better with distance management. We're talking about Yan Zhana, just so y'all know. But she said whenever she had stepped in, she kind of overstepped her boundaries. That's where she was able to take her down. And that's why I said, too, I was like, when I saw Yan Zhana come into Carla's zone and then just, like, extend her shots, I knew it was over from right there because Carla just dipped under her right hand and took her to the ground, right? So she also said this. I was actually really thinking I was going to pull off the finish in the first round, but I'll take it in the second. I felt like it was so secure after her initial bucking and trying to go crazy. I felt her settle down, and it was really wearing on her. She didn't have an answer. She was getting tired. And I think we can all say we saw that, right? Like the first round, whenever Carla Esparza just really put her in that, she got into that side control and she really just put her weight on Yan Zhana. Like you could see Yan Zhana didn't have that strength on her back. Like she has strength when she's standing up. She definitely has physical strength in the clinch when she's on her feet, but Yan Zhana doesn't really have a ground game. She doesn't really work that midsection on the ground when it's on her back. So Carla Esparza took full advantage of that. And like she said, for a minute she was in there trying to panic and get up. Robert Henry, what's up, man? She tried to get up. She tried to buck, tried to go crazy, but it was like it just exhausted her. And that's where Carla knew she had secured it, right? So her feeling like she could score a stoppage in the first round, that kind of let you knew that Carla Esparza had something different in her. She just wasn't going through the motions. She felt like, look, we got to go in here and we got to make this statement, and she did that. So also in this interview, she just said it straight up. She said, look, I do feel confident. It's the only fight that makes sense. Come on, Dana. She wants to fight too. She loves rematches that she's lost, referring to Rose Namajunas, which is true. I'm sure Rose Namajunas wants to get some get back on this one. She wanted to get back with Jessica Andrade. I had to give Rose credit on that. Like Rose didn't want to just go straight for Zhang Weili until she took on Jessica Andrade first. When Jessica Andrade got beat, lost the title, she still wanted to fight her first before she went for Zhang Weili, which made sense, right? So I think Rose is in that same mind state where she doesn't mind fighting another fighter again. Carla doesn't mind as well. She said, I feel with a dominant performance over the number 3 fighter, I think for me, in my opinion, that should just be hands down my title fight. I think that makes sense. It's the fight that the fans want to see. It's an intriguing matchup with an intriguing storyline. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much, cut and dry. I mean, there's really nothing to think about on Dana White's part. I know we talked about this in some videos, but I just wanted to come on a live stream and kind of give y'all Carla's, point of view as far as what she kind of said more in depth, because she's just like, I feel confident it's going to happen at this point because, if Dana White is about making big fights and making the fights that make sense, then he would just go for this fight. I know also Joanna's kind of been throwing in her 2 cents again. I know y'all seen that Joanna said it should just be down to her and Zhang Weili to get a rematch. She didn't even mention Carla's name, which I thought was disrespectful. That's how disrespectful Joanna's trying to be right now. Joanna also did an interview, and she said the only 2 people that should be getting a rematch with Rose is her and Zhang Weili. And I don't know what she's talking about right now. I mean, we're talking about a fighter in Carla Esparza who done won 5 fights in a row. And we're talking about Joanna, who's 2-4, right? Who's lost more fights in the past couple of years than Carla Esparza has. So What is Joanna talking about? So I think with Joanna kind of trying to put that in Dana's ear as well, she's kind of trying to slow the process down. That's not good. Then you got Zhang Weili, who's feeling like she deserves an immediate rematch just because she didn't really get to showcase anything. That's another bug in Dana's ear that's kind of slowing him down, So he's thinking about that. He's thinking about the China market. But my thing is, look, you're about to lose the China market. It's about to slip out of your hands right now because two of your most promising strawweights got destroyed. The best thing to do right now would be to let Zhang Weili go back and rebuild. Yan Zhana, she's going to have to do the same thing. You send Zhang Weili back in there, same thing happens. that market's going to plummet for you. You know what I mean? That's just going to destroy you. So why not just do what makes sense? Grab the fighter that's looking the best right now, and that's made the most of their growth as a fighter. Put them in there, give them that title shot. And I'm not talking about Joanna. I'm talking about Carla Esparza. I mean, I can pull that interview up too, man, because there was some crazy stuff in there that Joanna said. I was just like, what is she talking about at this point? I'm like, she really thinks she has a lot to stand on. And I mean, she admitted too, like, as far as popularity goes, superstardom goes, and polling, she said that Jan Blachowicz is more popular than her right now. She's not as popular anymore. So that should tell her something. If you're not as popular in your own country, then how is the United States going to perceive you? You know what I mean? Like, are they really going to see you as a superstar if your own country doesn't see you as a superstar anymore? I mean, what do y'all think? Hold on, just pull up something here. Where's this article at? All right. Marcus said, let's hope when Carla fights Rose that we don't get tricked into a lay and pray. At that point, it's possible, right? At that point, she would probably play it more safe than she would as far as taking on Jan. That fight, she knew that she had to go in there and look good. But this one is like, you just got to get the belt back. That's going to be her main goal, however she looks, What did she say, man? Hold on. She wants this title shot bad, man. Yeah. Okay, yeah. See, there's stuff like this that kind of puts a hold on things. Because, yeah, like, you never know, Dana White might even try to consider putting Joanna back in there if Joanna keeps talking so much. He might just like the WWF antics of Joanna and try to put her back in there. That would be messed up, but still. All right, see, Joanna doesn't think Carla should get the next crack at gold. She said this is what she thinks. She has a few wins straight, but I think the next challenger should be JJ or Zhang Weili. This is what I agreed to only. And that doesn't make any sense. That really doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's really all she said on that part because she just feels like she deserves it. But I'm like, how? How? She's really thinking that's all she's worth. She might, at this point, even Joanna, she might as well just be talking about getting a fight. Like, she just needs to get a fight. She just needs to get a fight and return back to the octagon. That's all she needs to do at this point. That's why I get tired of stuff like this. Like, she just still can't be humble enough to just say, look, I got to go back, get another contender, get in line, let this other person that's been doing more work than me get their shot. She said both fights are possible and are interesting, not only for me, but for the other girls as well. I mean, Rose and Zhang Weili for the UFC and the fans. Like, are the fans really calling for a third fight? Do we really want to see Rose versus Joanna, number 3? And then make Rose 3-0 against Joanna? No, we're not really calling for that right now. Then in another breath, she says here that she's going to get back into the octagon soon, but she doesn't know who against. So I don't really think she's going to be getting the title shot. But I just get tired of her trying to throw herself into that mix and trying to cutting the line off of privilege, cutting line off of what you call popularity. And it's not really that popular anymore. Like I said, if your own people in Poland are now gravitating towards, if they're gravitating towards Jan Blachowicz as their superstar in Poland now, come on. I would pick Zhang Wei Li before I would pick Joanna. But my number one, of course, would be Rose Namajunas. I mean, that fight makes the most sense. Hold on, before we keep going, let's see. Stamina, what's going on? He said, just in time to hear JJ talking yet more nonsense. The unending fountain of, yeah. And it's recent again. Like, it's always the same tune with her. Like, this was just like a day ago, and it's the same tune, man. It's not like, well, I'm not getting the title shot because Carla is getting it, so we're going to go ahead and take on Marina Rodriguez, or we're going to go ahead and take on Mackenzie Dern. And then when I beat them, I'll get my title shot. It's still, I deserve a title shot. And it's disrespectful on her part. Like I said, just to try to say Carla's not in that lineup. It's just about Wei Li and her. If anything, it would be more so about Wei Li, but not her. Stick Summer Dog said, why not rematch Rose versus Esparza? Oh, fight the winner of that fight? Yeah, I mean, that's what she should do at this point. Just sit on the sideline and just wait. You said Rose versus Esparza is the real fight. Here is the breakdown. Rose versus Joanna, first round knockout. Rose versus Wei Li, first round knockout. Esparza versus Rose. Number one, Esparza choke Rose out. Yep. Yeah, these were the old pictures right here. I remember watching this finale. What was it on back then? Fox, yeah. Yeah, like 7 years ago. I remember watching this fight. I picked Carla to win back then because, I seen what Rose was able to do to Randa Marcos, what she was able to do to JoJo, and who else did she beat at the time? She beat Rose beat Randa, she beat JoJo. And she was looking good, but at the time Carla had more experience. Carla was an Invicta champion. She already had like a solid resume. She was much more established at the time. But things change. Things change. Let's see. She also said this. Look, Carla said this. I think it's almost poetic. It's really cool. 7 years later, I saw somebody posted that the only inaugural title holders to win their title back were Jose Aldo and Dominique Cruz. To be in an elite group like that and do it after such a long period of time, for me, would be rewarding. I think it would be super inspiring to other fighters and other people to no matter how hard you get knocked down and how low you feel at the time, you can always come back. Honestly, I think we're just better versions of ourselves from back then. Her precision and her knockouts are so much sharper than they were at the time. I think my wrestling and my jiu-jitsu and everything, I'm sharper as well in every aspect. It's just a question of how we match up, who's going to be able to impose their will. With a fighter who's so dangerous like Rose, a knockout is always on the table at any moment in any fight. I think it's an intriguing matchup. So, pretty much that's how we all feel, right? I mean, Carla is laying it all on the table. That's how she feels. She feels like they're better versions of themselves, but she definitely acknowledged the fact that Rose Namajunas, her precision is it's been a very important part of her growth as a fighter. She's definitely a lot sharper now. I can't say Rose, like, the more and more I analyze, is not like this heavy concussive puncher. She's definitely not an Andrade puncher, but it's her precision and her accuracy. She still only has 2 knockouts on her resume, but it's definitely that sharpness and that accuracy that's getting the knockouts. Because you really don't see that many knockouts in the fashion that she's doing at 115, because not a lot of these strikers are really precision punchers. They throw that workout, they put punches together, but nobody's really turning them over like Rose does, and nobody's sitting down on them like that. So that's the one thing that really helped elevate Rose is her precision. So I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And I agree with Carla, her wrestling, her jiu-jitsu's been getting better. But at this point, Rose, her jiu-jitsu also improved. She's a brown belt. I feel like, her wrestling's gotten better. Her clinch game is a little bit better. So how they would match up now, it kind of would almost be like two different fighters. I mean, what do y'all think? Like, I really do think at this point, it's really hard to say you would even see like any shades of glimpses of what happened the first go round. 7 years ago, over half a decade. So I can't really say at this point Carla would be able to do anything that she's done in the first fight that would work, and Rose, would crumble the same way in the first fight. I'm just actually looking at a clip here, the old fight. I mean, y'all see these pictures here. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's definitely gonna be an interesting matchup though, because like she said, they both grown and took different paths in their career, and it's almost like a fresh start. That's why I want to see this fight too. That's why I want to see this fight happen, because it's almost like Rose has a new contender to fight. Not the same fighter, not Zhang Weili, not Jessica Andrade, not Joanna again. You know what I mean? She fought Joanna much closer, 6 months apart. If she fights Zhang Weili again, she's just seen that look, but she hasn't seen the new Carla, and Carla hasn't seen this Rose or been in the octagon with each other in over 7 years. So it's almost like going to be a new fighter for both of them. You know what I mean? So I think that it's something everybody's wanting to see now. That's the thing. Like, sometimes when a champ loses their belt by knockout, it will leave a bad taste in the fans' mouths. That's why it's kind of hard for them to petition for a rematch right away for somebody, especially when they get knocked out cold. I'm referring to Zhang Weili. Like, it's hard for me to say I want to see Zhang right back in there. I can't really say that, because it wasn't like it was a 5-round battle. It wasn't like a 5-round battle where they were going back and forth. It ended in the first round. So it's kind of like when that person did their homework and they ended you that quick, you got to let them go on to the next one. That's the whole point of ending the fight quick. You don't want no controversy behind it, right? That's the whole point of that. That's why they say don't leave it in the hands of the judges. If you make it a controversial decision, you make it a draw, a split decision or whatever, people will want to see it run. They want to see you run it back, because they'll say, oh, you lost that fight. You got to go back and look better. But if you knock a person out in the first round, that kind of gives you that guarantee to say, I'm better than that person. I got him out of there. On to the next one, right? I mean, it sounds too logical, though, right? It makes too much sense. That's why I say, let's go ahead and put Carla Esparza in it. Haven't seen this in forever. It's going to be like a totally different fight for both fighters. They're going to approach this different. It's going to be something different. I think it's going to be explosive. I do like the fact that Carla acknowledged, the improvements, and she knows that a knockout is possible. Because, yeah, like, if she can't get it on the inside of Rose Namajunas right away, Rose is going to settle in, and she's going to get full extension on her punches. If Rose lets Carla in, she will get taken down. And with the strength of Carla now, I think Carla can be very, very effective on the ground, and she could end it if it got to the ground. But I want to see what Rose can do as far as her jiu-jitsu now. She's looked pretty, she's been looking pretty slippery, throughout her training, and, the improvements that she's made throughout those fights after the Rose fight. So with that, man, I think that it's good that Carla is being more confident than just kind of letting it go. With confidence, that I feel like only something positive can come from that at this point. She just can't get in line and say, oh, I'll let the next person get it. Joanna's more popular than me. Zhang Weili's more popular than me. I'll just go back and fight another fight. I'll go back and fight Mackenzie Dern. I'll be like, nah, don't even take that. I got people saying in my videos she needs to fight Mackenzie Dern. She needs to fight Joanna. I'm like, no, she done fought her fights to get to the top. Like, let that be her title defense or something, but don't try to put her in. Don't try to put another roadblock up in front of her. You know. Let me go back to the chat here real quick. Mark said, when most people dwell on the fact that since the fighter beat that fighter about 7 years ago, it leads me to believe that that person doesn't think that fighter can grow within that time span. Right. I mean, that's usually casual fans. You know what I mean? Like, Rose has definitely showed it, though. That's the thing. Like, if you kind of disappear off into obscurity and nobody hears from you, then that kind of tells you that you haven't grown. Or if you disappear off into the sunset or you get cut from the UFC altogether, that means you haven't grown. But Rose has obviously grown in the past 7 years. I mean, she's held the title twice now. She's beat fighters that Carla can't beat. You know what I mean? Like, she has that style to beat fighters that she has beat. That shows you improvement, you know? You try to put Carla in there with Joanna again or Jessica Andrade, I don't know if she could do what Rose did. She probably couldn't, you know? So there's major growth on that side. And then there's also the slow growth of Carla, you know, the slow growth, humble growth of Carla on one side. You know, so again, Carla's taking the right approach. Carla's taking the right approach just to stay confident and, you know, continue to tell Dana, come on, let's make this thing happen. Let's make it happen. Because all this BS of other people have shown, other contenders shown, where they just kind of fall back in line and say, I'm a company fighter. I'll do this. I'll do that. I'll wait my turn. I don't want to hear that. There's a whole purpose to Carla's grind right here. You know, that should be everybody's purpose. You know, get the fights that make sense and then call for the title shot. You know, you go in there and bash up your title eliminator. You know, you bash that fighter up and get him out of there the way she did. That's all I needed to see. You know? So before we jump to the next one, you want to just stay out of this. Don't try to say it's just you and Zhang Weili. You stay out of this. It's Carla's shine right now. Carla's shine. Mark Gotti Webb said a hurry up Weili only benefits White. Exactly. Yeah, that's all it is at this point. It's going to benefit him, and then it'll also be his downfall if she loses, you know. But yeah, I remember that fight, man. I remember watching it that night. That was probably like one of the best tough seasons where they had all the strawweights up in there. Yeah, that was one of the best, man. Hold on. I mean, they had a lot of craziness. Like, I was a fan of the drama because it was a show. I mean, like, I'm not a fan of drama when it comes to like the actual fights, but I was enjoying the drama on the show because it was all women. So you know there was gonna be a bunch of cattiness up in there. You know, you had Beck and Angela Magana, Angela Hill. You know, you had that mean girl side, and then you had the nice girl side. Like, I was definitely on the nice girl side. I just like their approach. You know, they seemed like they were just about to fight the fight game. But, like, you had Beck and all of them on this side. They was always talking trash. It made for good entertainment, though. It made for good entertainment. That's why that was probably, like, my favorite season, man. It's on UFC Fight Pass. I might have to actually go back and watch that. Watch that season, man. But let's see, man. Let's jump to the next one here real quick. What are we going to talk about next? Let's talk about Cynthia Calvillo. Cynthia Calvillo recently did an interview on, what's his name? Smo Zone podcast. And, you know, I'm glad he put the little time frames up because I just wanted to see what was going on. Like, what was she going to say? It was going to be her next fight. And, you know, she spoke on Valentina Shevchenko and pretty much said, like, some of the things that everybody says whenever they see Valentina Shevchenko. Or, you know, she goes in about the same things that a lot of people think Valentina Shevchenko has a weakness in. Let me pull this thing up here real quick. Where is that interview? I mean, y'all can check it out, too. We're just going to discuss it a little bit. Where is it? Hold on. Let me read these comments before we get to the next part here. While I'm letting this thing pull up. Stamina MC4 cautionary tale on rematches. Look no further than Holloway versus Volkanovski and Dillashaw versus Garbrandt. Puts the fighters in a weird spot. Yeah, Mark. A lot of good ones came up with that bunch. Yeah, like there was a lot of good talent in that that strawweight house that day, man. Like you really couldn't make a bad matchup in that tough season, man. They were good balance of good fights and good entertainment. That's what I was saying. Like, you know, they was talking all that trash. You had the mean girls and you had the nice girls. And they were all entertaining. So yeah, man, I am, Robert. It's kind of like you gotta look back and say, man, those are the days, man. Like they really haven't had a tough season that entertained me like that, man. I can't believe it's been that long ago. Shoot, I can't believe it's been almost 10 years since I started watching Invicta FC, like stuff like that. I'm like, damn. I can't remember how I used to watch it. Like, what was it? What was it on? Like, was it always on UFC Fight Pass? Damn, I can't remember. See, so yeah, Cynthia Calvillo, Smo Zone podcast. This is the quote that I think everybody kind of went up. You know, their radars went up on this one. Cynthia Calvillo said this, referring to Valentina Shevchenko and her weaknesses. I definitely feel like I have the best grappling in the division. That's Cynthia Calvillo. She said, I definitely feel like I have the best grappling in the division. I don't think I would stand there and go toe-to-toe with her and play her game, referring to Valentina. And obviously, she's the type of fighter to take it to your game, like how she did Andrade. I feel like I would out-grapple her if it were to get there. And I think that I would just have to fight really hard and be a dog. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people still tend to think that Valentina, her weakness is her grappling. And I'm not so sure about that. You know, because she also brought up what Juliana Pena was able to do. But, you know, that's Juliana Pena. Like, she's a very, very solid grappler, you know, but she's reckless too. And when I go back and look at that fight, though I did feel like Pena was winning around, I think that was also a round where, you know, Valentina was just kind of figuring her opponent out. It wasn't like she was losing, or it wasn't like there was any type of weakness that was shown in Valentina exactly. Maybe a little bit, but there was still a time where maybe you could just say maybe weakness, or maybe she was just sitting back letting Pena do what she was doing. And then eventually you seen what Valentina was able to do. Like Pena continued to just let knees off in the clinch, right? So while she's letting knees off in the clinch, Valentina's thinking, she's like, okay, she's doing the same thing over and over. When she throws one more knee up, she catches it and takes her down. So it really just came down to her saying, okay, let me figure her out. Let me get her timing down. This is her approach. This is what she's going to do. She hasn't changed it yet. So, boom, I'm going to catch the knee. I'm going to take her down. Boom, catch knee, take her down. Same thing in the second round, right? So, it's really hard to say that was a full-on weakness that Cynthia Calvillo seen. And, I mean, let's talk about this, though. Like, I really can't say she has the best grappling in the division. I mean, whenever you haven't really stacked up enough wins against the top 10 flyweights to really make a statement, make a hard argument for that. Y'all let me know. I'm not even sure what degree of belt is she in BJJ. I was trying to research that a couple nights ago. But not a couple nights. Last night. Last night I was trying to research that. What is Cynthia Calvillo when it comes to her grappling? Like, what is she as far as, you know, in her BJJ? Really couldn't find that. But, yeah, going back to what I was saying, she hadn't really proved anything to me to say she is the best grappler. I mean, at 125. I mean, she did some things at 115, you know, against Marina Rodriguez. You know, she showed her grappling in those fights. Close fight with Carla Esparza, but it doesn't really make me say it's it's like a freak of nature like Valentina was. Like even like when it comes to physical strength, I think that Cynthia Calvillo was strong with what she was able to do against Jessica I. But then you got to look at what she did against Caitlin Chikagian. Like there was never a point where she could use her grappling. If that's what you're a master at, you didn't ever make that adjustment against Caitlin Chikagian, who wants to just keep you on the outside. There should have been a point where she said, okay, this girl going to just strike from the outside and shadow box. It's time for me to go on the inside and use this grappling. So that's not a very good argument to stand on to say the best grappling in the division. Whereas Valentina Shevchenko, she showcased her grappling. She showcased those skills against Jessica Andrade. And, of course, this was after that fight, whenever Calvillo said that. So what she did to Andrade and Jennifer Maia and Caitlin Chikagian alone is enough to say that her grappling is much better. You know what I mean? What else? What else did she? Well, yeah, another thing, yeah, she said, definitely not going to go toe-to-toe with her. Yeah, I don't think she's built for that, I think she acknowledged that, right, that, she definitely doesn't have the stand-up, but she wants to make that adjustment to get in there and grapple with Valentina. But to do that, you got to be able to time Valentina, and I don't think Cynthia Calvillo has that type of timing. If she could never really time Caitlin Chikagian, I don't really think she could time Valentina that way. Like, Valentina has, like, a very hard force field over her. Like, you got to know how to chip away at it, Not too many fighters can chip away at it because the minute they taste the left hand, they go right back on the outside and just respect her. They wait for her to take them down and just end the fight, So Jennifer Maia, she may be landing one or two good shots here and there, but it took a lot to do that. And I don't know if Cynthia Calvillo has that type of patience and that type of go-get-em attitude to just go in there and say, let me do this. Let me take what chances I got. So to prove she has the better grappling, you got to get past that striking. You got to chip away at that layer first. If you can't do that, you're in trouble. But the question is, what if Valentina wants to grapple with you? What if Valentina comes straight in grapple mode like she did against Jessica Andrade? Are you going to be able to handle that? What if she offers you that platter? Are you going to be able to eat it? You're going to be able to take it like that? Let's say Valentina takes the same approach like she did against Andrade versus Calvillo. Are you going to be able to say, that's what I wanted? I don't know. When you feel that strength, that's a different story. And you can look at the body language of Jessica Andrade. Whenever Jessica Andrade felt the physical strength of Valentina, her world was crushed. Her world was just like done. Like, there was really nothing that she had an answer for because the grappling style of Valentina favored for that fight. She made some adjustments to it where it was like built for a short, stocky fighter like Jessica Andrade. Awkward angle, underhooks, really pinning her arms up like a baby, where her arms is, she's got the short arms. You can't get any leverage up. Like had her at a diagonal angle and just continuing to take her down. So she kind of made that adjustment on the fly in the fight. Like she said, it wasn't really like a plan. It was just something they just did right there. And that just shows you how she's computing things, and she's really making the fight hers as she goes along, minute by, second by second, minute by minute. I don't really see that in Calvillo. I like Calvillo, but I don't really see her that type of fighter that's cerebral. That's really, really, really taking in her opponent's weaknesses and taking in her opponent's physicality at the same time. I think smart fighters, throughout the years, like, even Anderson Silva, Demetrius Johnson, John Jones, now Valentina, Amanda Nunes. I think those fighters, they study their opponents as they're fighting, not doing film studies and training all the time. I mean, that's one thing, but they're studying them as after that bell rings, they're taking in the body type. They're taking in their weaknesses. They're taking in their body language. So with that, there's so much for Cynthia Calvillo to get past. There's so much for her to get past to even take it to a grappling match. And like I said, if Valentina chooses to grapple, she's going to feel that strength, man. She's going to feel it. and we're going to see if she can be that dog. Like she said at the end of that statement, she said she's going to have to fight really hard and be a dog. Like, Calvillo is a dog. I mean, she does have that dog in her, but, you know, what type of dog is it going to be with Valentina? She showed the dog with Jessica I. She didn't really bring the dog against Caitlin Chikagan. So I don't know. I mean, I know the answer, but I don't know why you would say that. Of course, you got to look. You got to speak with confidence. You know, that's one thing. You got to speak with confidence. That's where I see where she's coming from with that. But I wouldn't have went on record to say I had the best grappling in the flyweight division, especially if you haven't got the names to build the argument. That's my point. Like, if I just came into a division, I'm not going to say, oh, man, I got the best. I knock everybody out. I got the best power in the game. You know what I mean? I got the best jab in the game. You got to let that resume build up first. But Marcus, he brought up the Andrade fight. Marcus Bell brought up the Andrade fight. So let's talk about that a little bit real quick. This is a question here, right here. Let's say this, okay? You got the best grappling in the flyweight division. Will you be able to, I'm not going to address it to Cynthia directly. I'm going to address it to y'all. Do you think Cynthia Calvillo can do to Andrade what Valentina was able to do? That's the question. That's the question right there. Can Cynthia Calvillo do what Valentina did to Andrade? Y'all think about that. Let me go back up here and look at these comments. Zhang, in the winner of Esparza versus Rosa B. Good tough coaches. Zhang in the winner of. That would be interesting, Robot Chicken Wings. But you know, Zhang can't really speak English, so yeah, that would be kind of hard to have Zhang over there, you know. I mean, it would be interesting now if they did Carla and Rose. But I mean, you know, the Tough House already got it going now, so they can't. Stamina said, Calvillo on the porch in his rocking chair, sipping on homemade iced tea. Not iced tea. Maybe a Coke. Just some Coke on ice, man. I don't like iced tea. Robot Chicken said Val submit opinion. Right. Robert Henry said Cynthia ain't got nothing coming against Valentina except what everybody else is getting. Damn. Roger said Rose is a tough one. She had all of the major components, and the 2 full fight camps that she spent with Valentina was equivalent to creating a diamond. All that force and pressure created one. Nobody, at least not in the UFC, had any notable, memorable degree of success being a dog in there with Valentina. All these women effectively say the same thing. I admire Andrade, etc., and failed. Trevor Whitman, they make the perfect cuts in the scopes. Rose's offense. Nobody besides Pena. Ravio said, yeah, nobody besides Pena. Cynthia will find herself out grappled. Mark this day. Yeah, Valentina is too strong and too technical, man. Like, I don't really see any women in that division that has that type of strength, that type of discipline combined with strength. Mark said the better keep evolving, hard to measure from past fights. Jennifer Maya would probably dust Calvillo. Interesting, she called out Andrade and not her. Yeah, she mentioned that too in the interview. She was like, they both were coming off of losses, so she thought that would be a good fight, you know, to get her closer to a title, you know, taking her on. Yeah, Jessica I is fighting Jennifer Maya next. You know, Stamina said Calvillo's not at all cerebral. The way she didn't adapt at all against Caitlin Chikagan showed us that. Yeah, it was a terrible performance. I picked Calvillo. Did I pick Calvillo to win that? Did I pick her? I don't even know if I did a pick on that fight, but I was kind of thinking Calvillo was going to go in there and take her to the ground. Like, I was already kind of playing it out like Calvillo going to, you know, use that weight she's gained and just go in there and, you know, use her strength. But, no, man, she didn't. Yeah. So y'all think, yeah, she's not gonna do that. I don't think that Cynthia Calvillo will be able to do that against Jessica Andrade because I don't. I think the approach is gonna be like most of these other girls. You know, they're not gonna want to engage. They're not gonna want to engage. They're gonna want to stay away from Andrade. You know, they're gonna want to stay away from Andrade because what Valentina did, nobody else really gonna be able to do that. I mean, you see that photo right there. Like, look at the look on Andrade's face. She didn't expect that takedown, right? And it was all about the positioning, the way the way Valentina took her to the mat, and the way she was really like just grabbing her and tripping her and taking her down. Like, I mean, Valentina, what was her percentage? 100%, right? 100% takedowns that fight night, right? Did she take her down like 8 times in that fight? 8 out of 8 times. So yeah, like that was a surprise, but I don't think there's anybody else that's going to really take that approach. I'd be surprised if Calvillo was able to do that even 2 times, like just straight up use some timing and just meet in the center, then boom, take Andrade to the mat like that. I mean, if she does anything similar to what Valentina could do and she beats Andrade, however she beats her by decision or stoppage, then yeah, you get all my credit. You'll get the title shot. Then for me, I say, yo, this might be her chance, but that's that's just like 2 different animals for her. Like Calvillo taking on Andrade, that's, everybody leaning towards Andrade in that fight. I mean, come on. If we're all thinking that Andrade can dust her, I mean, you know what Valentina's going to do, man. So yeah, man. Hold on, I'm looking at this other photo here. Yeah, Pena was very strong, which she was able to do, but very reckless. But whenever you look at what Valentina and her overall physical strength, you look at her overall physical strength and what she's able to do in there, it's just too much for a lot of these flyweights, And I do feel like it's going to take a while before a lot of these girls develop to be able to take on somebody at that level. That's just how it is sometimes. I mean, it's just how you separate dedication from procrastination. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you separate them. I mean, that's what the whole purpose is of rankings. I mean, yeah, Calvillo, I don't know. I'm just looking at some clips now. Sorry. I don't know, man. Calvillo, I feel like there were some missed opportunities for her. Just even coming up from the straw weight. She was missing weight a few times. Just missed some fights. Missed some opportunities. Came up short in that Caitlin Kagan fight. I was like, man, like that should have been the one where she just took complete control. Like, I know styles make fights, but look, Andrade, she closed in on that tall, long fighter, and she made it physical. She made it physical. Like, I thought Calvillo would have did that. I mean, what do y'all think? Was it her coming off the COVID? You think that kind of did something to her? Because she was out because of COVID. Because remember, she was supposed to fight Lauren Murphy. Is she still the same? What do y'all think? Stamina says Cynthia is a jiu-jitsu girl, sure, but she wasn't with AKA long enough to be a wrestler. So, no, she ain't got the takedown ability like that. Once it's on the mat, maybe getting it there. Yeah, getting it there's a different story. Like, I think she's saying she has the better grappling, which is that's one thing. You can't really take it there unless you can take that person there. You got to take them down before you can actually start saying, I got the best grappling, because, it makes a grappling tournament, SUG is one thing, but MMA is another. Like, to show you got the best grappling, you got to put it all together and say, I can take this person down. That's what we were talking about with Mackenzie Dern yesterday, right? Mackenzie Dern, BJJ is, her strongest point. She's 100 there, but it's nothing if you can't get a fighter to the ground. You know, your grappling is nothing if you can't get them to the mat where they need to be. And that's going to be the biggest step for Cynthia Calvillo. That's the major step. Can you get Valentina down? Or if Valentina chooses to take you down, can you reverse it? You know, those are the major parts of that. Colton said Andrade would really put a beating on her. She's really not at the elite level of flyweights. Yeah, Andrade's still going to hold her own as one of the showstoppers when it comes to beating these other girls. She's still going to hold that spot. You know, I hope a lot of people don't underestimate Andrade now just because of what Valentina did. You know, nobody's ever seen that happen to her, but I hope they don't think they can do that just because Valentina did it. Marcus said, I still say that Andrade would spin Cynthia around like a top or fly Cynthia like a paper plane. Man, that's another thing I want to bring up too real quick is this, you know, the positioning for the slam. Like, that's another thing. Like, Andrade, her main attack and the way she positions fighters is to get that slam, you know, to have them start to use their takedown defense. They kind of not sprawl, but they kind of spread their legs against the fence. And as they spread, she knows that they're going to do that. It's to protect from getting taken down or getting tripped. So her having that physical strength and being able to just kind of defy all laws of the takedown defense they have, she'll kind of slide down and grab that ankle. And then, you know, she'll be able to lift you off of your feet, you know, and slam you. But she saw right away that approach didn't work on Valentina because Valentina is much more grounded and is so much stronger. You could see, like, when she did that little lift, like that little jerk, Valentina didn't even budge. So everything else was out the door, you know. Everything was out the door in that fight. I don't think anybody else has that type of takedown defense against Andrade's slams. You know, everybody's going to get slammed at least once. Stammer said Jessica will leave Cynthia's jaw around her neck like a tire scar. Damn. Well, at least nobody's lost faith in what Jessica Andrade can still do. At least y'all haven't lost faith in what Andrade can still do to these other girls, right? I mean, because we know what she is. You know, we know what she is on her level. I mean, she's a ball of energy. You know, she's a ball of pure power and strength, but not much IQ in there. You know, she's that Hulk. You know, she's that early Hulk. She's that early version of Hulk. And Valentina is Spider-Man's beat the Hulk for. I know he did, right? It was like, I read that way back. So, you know, she's a much more cerebral fighter, mixed with strength, you know, mixed with, Roger, good iron core. Yeah. Let's see. High Five said Andrade would toss Cynthia around early. Damn. That's what I'm wondering. Like, will it be submission or will it be a knockout? Cause you can't stay in the pocket with her. Like, you really can't stay in the pocket with Andrade. I mean, her right hand is money, man. Like, her right hand will land on you. Like, Calvillo gets hit. You know, her defense isn't that great. Like, you know, JoJo was able to hit her. Calvillo versus what was that fight? Chikagan. You know, Chikagan touched her. Jessica I touched her. So I still think, you know, she's gonna get touched in this fight. And when you get touched, High Five said Valentina won, but little that people know Andrade hurt her with punches to the stomach, which made Valentina change level. Valentina body locked her and avoid punches to finally stop Andrade. I might have to go back and look at that. High Five. You said she got hurt to the body. she got hurt to the body. I'll go back and look. I never really seen anything land too big because it was just like she was in full control from the jump. I'll go back and look though. Because I mean, when I went back and watched Chikagan and Andrade fight, I saw how Andrade broke her body down. Like Andrade didn't just land one big shot on Chikagan's body or two shots. It was a accumulation throughout the round. On the ground, Andrade was landing good shots to the body. She was stabbing Caitlin Chikagan to the body. She was landing shots in that fight for one round, but I got to go back and look at that. Like I didn't see the body language change, or like I didn't really see her like react to a body shot in that was it first round or the second round? Must have been the first round, but yeah, I didn't see it. Of course, I was on here doing a live with y'all, so I was like, looking at it, but looking at the chat too. I was doing the round by round as the fight was going that night, so I haven't watched the fight since then either. Maybe did I? I can't remember. I think I did. I can't even remember, man. I probably did that night. I don't know. But I didn't notice that. Andrade didn't hurt her with any punches. Her core is iron. She body locks most opponents because they're low risk, high reward with her technical background and physicality. Stamina said you keep saying this, even if it's true, so what? Punches are meant to hurt. Smart fighters do something to keep being hurt, to stop being hurt continually, and the better ones do things that also help them win. Yeah, I think same thing in the Pena fight. Juliana Pena was landing good knees to the body, and they were effective on Valentina, but it was the fact that Pena never changed up. So she said, okay, I'm going to take a few shots. That's part of the game. I'm going to take some knees to the body. And eventually, when you throw this one more knee that I know you're going to throw the same way, I'm going to just take you down. Whenever it became telegraphed, she took her down. But yeah, that's part of the game. You're going to take some shots. It's all about capitalizing. Like, can you continue to hurt that person, or can you continue to move in a manner to be unpredictable? Because eventually, if you stick with the same thing that you think is a weakness in this much smarter fighter, that smarter fighter is going to figure you out. So that's some of the keys. I think, like, the more and more I study Valentina, like, I'm like, it's going to take a fighter that is unpredictable. It's going to have to be a fighter that's unpredictable like her, even more so, which means you got to be well-rounded. You got to be well-rounded. And the other type of fighter it'll take is like a fighter that's just studying Valentina all day long. The same way Antonio Tarver studied Roy Jones his whole career. He was in the background just watching and watching and watching what Roy Jones did. So when it came time to fight him, he could beat Roy. He had Roy's number. That's what it takes to beat a Valentina. Like, you either got to be an unpredictable fighter, unpredictable and just as smart, or you got to be a fighter that is your sole purpose is to just stop this fighter here, and that's all you want to do. That's your main goal. You just got to watch her day and night and say, this is my goal. If you're that type of fighter, if there's somebody out there doing that, then eventually, yeah, they will beat her. Who else did that besides Antonio Tarver? I mean, there's been some other fighters out there when they get a guy's number, they just continue to watch that guy, say, I'm going to beat him one day. Yeah, I can't think of any more right now, but yeah, that just came to my mind because that's what he said he did. He just always watched him and said, look, I got the style to beat him. I came up with the perfect style to beat him. If I said watch it again, Andrade dropped a few punches to the body during the clinch. Okay. Cole says, should Cynthia have waited for a different opponent? I don't know at this point. At this point, where she stands in the rankings, it's pretty much go hard or go home with it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really see anybody else she could take on at this point. let me pull up the flyweight rankings here real quick. Because Lauren Murphy, she's got JoJo's fight, the JoJo fight coming up. Jennifer Maia has Jessica I, and Viviane Araújo, she's coming off a loss to Caitlin Chikagan. Roxanne Modaffar, she's out on surgery. Alexa Grasso, that would have been a good fight. So I can't really say, Colton. I don't think she should have waited at this point. She's in the top 10, so she's got to fight somebody. Nah, I mean, yeah, that's the most logical opponent. Next to Alexa Grasso, and Alexa Grasso is 5 spots down from Calvillo. But, I mean, if she wanted somebody, Andrade or Grasso were the only people she could fight. I like the fact Calvillo did call out Andrade, though. She put it out there, said, let's fight. She said it in Victor FC the other night. She said it on the podcast, Smoke Zone podcast she was on. So if she wants it, let her have it. Valentina has said time and time again she doesn't have a plan. She just reacts in real time. The film supports that. Yeah, I was saying that earlier, Stamina. That's what I was talking about as far as her approach. Like, there was no plan for Andrade. It was just like, we're going in there and we're going to download her information and compute it on the fly, and we're going to do what works. We're just going to do what works. Yeah, there was no plan. I mean, one of the keys, just studying throughout the years, you have to have some type of physical strength to beat Valentina. I mean, you got to be able to be a fighter that is going to make her respect you back. Everybody she's fought, she'll, kind of wait a little bit, kind of pick her shots and do what she wants to do, but she'll eventually just take you apart, and nobody's really able to earn that respect. So you gotta get her respect first. You gotta be strong. You got to have some type of strength about you. But yeah, we have some good conversation here, man. Damn, it's already been an hour here. We've been talking about this second topic for a while, but let's jump to the main one here. I guess we can call this. Yeah, it's definitely the main one here because this is a big fight for the strawweight division. That could have happened, but it didn't. It's looking like it's not going to happen, right? I'll give you all my thoughts. I know there's a lot of people I've seen even on IG. I've been seeing a lot of people on IG that are kind of in an uproar about this decision making on not Mackenzie Dern, but Marina Rodriguez's part here. Yeah. So let me check the chat real quick, and then we'll jump to this last topic. Annoy you after spending 40 minutes in there with the consensus greatest wound. Leave with little more than a red face. There are no threats out there. I mean, yeah, it's safe to say, nobody's saying, like I said, I'm not trying to say somebody is perfect. I mean, she's just one of the best fighters. I'm not saying she doesn't make mistakes. Valentina works hard at what she does, so she doesn't make mistakes. If you were perfect, you wouldn't have to work. That's why I think I said this before. People, they mix up greatness and they mix up perfection. Nobody is born perfect. You work hard to be great. You strive for perfection, but nobody ever gets to be perfect. That's why you continue to work, so you can elevate yourself to a level where you're above the rest. You try to develop a work rate and a discipline like no other. And that's what she does. Like, the minute she stops working, then she won't be great, or she won't be near perfection like she is, compared to these other ladies, So that's why I have to break this stuff down for people, because it's like, I just can't say, oh, she'll starch this person. No, she'll starch that. Let me tell you why. Because she works at it. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't say, oh, Valentina will beat this person because she's the best. Well, let me tell you why. I just can't sound like a delusional fan that doesn't know how to break this thing down. That's why I say, let me tell you why. Tell you why. It's because she works hard. She's got the discipline, you know. I think to call a person perfect and not acknowledge the hard work they do and the mistakes they made, that's kind of an insult to them, you know. Being called great and being perfect, two different things to me. But yeah. So here we go. Let's talk. Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk Mackenzie Dern and Marina Rodriguez. Marina Rodriguez and Mackenzie Dern. This fight seemed like it was going to be made, you know, this seemed like the logical fight to make next for the strawweight division, right? I mean, I had it on my who's next, right? I said that this fight should be next for both of them. You know, I said, who should Mackenzie Dern fight next after destroying Nina Ansaroff? Well, Marina Rodriguez coming off her first time I said that Marina Rodriguez coming off her second round finish of Amanda Ebos, right? Then she goes in there at 125 and, you know, wins a unanimous decision over Michelle Waterson. So next logical fight for me, when it came to Marina Rodriguez, I would have said just Joanna, but, you know, Mackenzie Dern, she started, you know, making some noise. So I said, okay, let's get Mackenzie and Marina. That's not a bad fight. That's definitely not a bad fight. But she recently did an interview. Marina Rodriguez said, look, she's going to explain why she declined a fight with Mackenzie Dern, number 5 and number 6 strawweights. So let's read through this interview here, y'all. Let's read through this interview together. And I'll kind of give you my thoughts on it. Like I said, I'm going to give you my 2 cents on how I feel about Marina Rodriguez's choice right now. Right? So let me just pull it up here. All right. Just let this article pull up my phone. High Five said these shorter fighters have problems with taller fighters with long reach. Salute to those shorter fighters because they're still the nightmares to even the champions. It depends. It depends because I see a lot of tall fighters that don't know how to use it. Some tall fighters, they scrunch down or they stand straight up where the chin is wide open, or they they spread their legs all the way so they're almost the same height as you. You know, I think being tall and rangy is a gift, and you have to be taught to fight tall. You know, you gotta be taught to fight like a big man, and some of these fighters have to be taught to fight like a big woman or a tall man, or whatever. Like Megan Anderson, she's a huge girl. Megan Anderson's 6 foot. She towers over a lot of women, but most of these girls, if they are quick, strong, and have some power, they'll get on the inside without even thinking about it. They'll just make a reaction and they're like, boom, they'll get on the inside of Megan Anderson just like that. That's why to be a tall fighter, you got to have that force field up. Your long reach, your kicks, your front kicks got to be going. Your right hand has to always be straight down the pipe. You got to be strong as hell when they try to clinch up with you. You got to make them feel your weight and feel your power. Yeah, high five. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They work hard. They work hard. Fighters, they work hard at it to just, have somebody think that it's like easy. It's not easy. To make it look easy, they do a lot of hard work, But okay, here we go. All right, let's talk. So Mackenzie Dern was seemed like she was going to be lined up in July, to make a return, and her next opponent was going to be Marina Rodriguez, right? But Marina Rodriguez turned down that fight, and this is what she had to say. The UFC offered us Mackenzie in July, but we already had told them we wanted to fight in September or October. Now that I know she wants to fight sooner, I believe our fight may not even happen now. After taking the fight on an 11-day notice, we talked to my coach and we decided to make a full preparation for our next fight. We know we're getting closer to the belt, and we don't want to miss that opportunity when it comes. This year, we're going to train as if we're fighting for the belt. If not, if it comes, that's good, perfect. If not, we'll have the next fight in order to get closer to it. We want to show our evolution in every fight. In order to do that, we need a full camp. I believe it's going to be worth it to wait a little longer to see me in the octagon again. All right? So, Marina Rodriguez, she said she was offered the fight. And offered the fight in July. She decided, look, we want to come back in September or October. That's a little too soon. So now that Mackenzie Dern is probably going to be coming back in July, that fight might not be happening. Well, we'll see though too, because July is right around the corner, and we really haven't heard Dern come out the box and say, that she was making a return. But that probably was the main fighter that she was going to be fighting. So that announcement won't be made now. So Marina Rodriguez didn't want to fight in July. She's just coming off a short notice fight. She wants to prepare. She wants a full training camp this go round. Her last two fights were short notice fights, which she won. She's going to step in there with a dangerous fighter like Mackenzie Dern. She wanted to come back in September, October, which is what? July. It's like 3 or 4 months out. 3 or 4 months out, she wants to come back. And that would be her third fight this year. So, my thoughts, I can't say I'm really mad at her about that. I can't really say. I know some of y'all probably going to disagree, but look, I got to kind of respect Marina Rodriguez on that. She doesn't want to come back right away again. She just fought 2 short notice fights. The January fight against Amanda Ebos, that was a short notice fight for her. She went in there, rose to the occasion. She stopped Amanda Ebos in the second round. Then she came back less than 4 months later to headline a card at flyweight against Michelle Waterson on 11 days notice. 5-round fight now. 5-round fight. Turned out to be a tough fight too. She took some hard blows in that fight. Very, very competitive fight, in some parts. So she wins unanimous decision. She won that fight. And now the UFC wants her to come back from, April to July, which is like 3 months, to fight Mackenzie Dern. She feels like, I'd rather do this. I'd rather come back in September, October. I kind of respect that, man. Like I said, I'm not really mad at the fact that she kind of wants to put the fight off and she wants a full training camp. That's what it's about, right? I mean, the UFC's been doing a lot of short notice fights. They've been doing that a lot lately with a lot of fighters. But I feel like with what Marina Rodriguez feels like she's doing is like she's climbing the ladder here, and she knows that every fight is not going to be like short notice worthy. You know what I mean? Every fight you have to prepare and get better at. So it's one thing. Marina Rodriguez is taking short notice fights. She's building up her reputation, getting some money from these fights. Building her reputation as a fighter that answers the phone. She's ready to go, somewhat. But there comes a time when these fights, as you go higher up the rankings, you have to prepare because the challenge is going to be even more so. It's going to be bigger than the next one. And I feel like, let's see, Marina Rodriguez's last fight was what I say. Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern's last fight was in April against Nina Azaroff. So she was going to make a quick turnaround too in 3 months, which ain't bad. I mean, it was her first fight, right? It was her first fight this year. Mackenzie Dern only had 1 round. Think about that. Mackenzie Dern was probably ready to go because she only had 1 round. She only fought 1 round this year, right? She got Nina Asroff out of there. Fighter that's been off for 2 years, so she probably was hungry. She said, "Was it that easy? I'm ready to go." Whereas Marina Rodriguez, she had 2 tough fights. She took some hard blows in that Michelle Waterson fight, hard body shots. Who knows what damage they might have be hiding behind the scenes. Fighters, they don't tell everything on their IG. They don't back everything up whenever it comes to their injuries. She might have faced some damage because she took some heavy body shots. She got cut in the mouth. She took some damage. So for me, straight up, I respect her wishes to say, look, I want to put the time off. I'm going to put some time off. I want a full training camp because that's what it's all about. Look, I know fighters on my level out here now, like local fighters around the way, they'll take short notice fights, right? Right around the corner here. Guys here, they'll boxers, they'll take short notice fights, right? Every now and then they'll do that, but there's times where like, no, we need a full training camp because we're stepping up. We're stepping up the next level. They want us to get in there, but I want to graduate. And that's what it's like for Marina Rodriguez. She's like, I want to graduate. I want to get to the next level. So I'm taking this Mackenzie Dern fight seriously. This ain't just a regular, this ain't just a regular fighter you're trying to feed me. This ain't just another piece of steak you feed me. This ain't that regular food you feed me. This is the real challenge. And with that, I say it that way because Mackenzie Dern for Marina Rodriguez is not a fighter you want to take on short notice. I understand wholeheartedly why she wants a full training camp for Mackenzie Dern. You know why? Because Mackenzie Dern has that kryptonite for Marina Rodriguez. What's her kryptonite? Y'all know her kryptonite. What is Marina Rodriguez's kryptonite? Do you really want to see her take a month and a half of training to fight Mackenzie Dern? What is her kryptonite? I don't even have to say it yet, right? Y'all say it. Y'all say it for me. What is Mackenzie Dern bringing that's going to nullify Marina Rodriguez and might wind up costing her a title shot? Marina Rodriguez is using her mind right now. She ain't stupid. She's still a fighter. She's still paying her own bills. She can't do exactly what the fans want. You know what I mean? Like, we can say we want this and that. We can want this fight. We want the Joanna fight. We want the Dern fight. But to get there, it takes time. Now, Michelle Waterson, I was all for that. I was like, yeah, take that fight. I know you got the skill set to beat her. Take that on short notice. Even the Ebos fight, when she took that on short notice, I was kind of skeptical about that. But she took it, won it, took another fight on short notice, won it. That fighter deserves a rest, in my opinion. A fighter like that deserves some rest. All right, so Marcus Bell was first. He said Marina's weakness is takedown defense, along with not being able to once get up. She's get up once she's taken down. Yes, okay. That's what I'm talking about. A kryptonite is the ground. You're going in there with a BJJ legend, okay? Then I pulled up Dern's grappling record, and that thing is like, wow. Okay? So Marina Rodriguez knows the level of fighter she's fighting. She's like, okay, I see this resume. This ain't a short notice fight. If it was Kay Hansen, fine, I'll take that on short notice. If it was Conejo Ruiz, Montserrat Ruiz, Marina Rodriguez would say, sure, let's do it. I'm sure. But this is the number 6 fighter. This is the number 6 fighter that could lead to a potential title shot. Why would I take that fight on a month notice where I only get to train for a little bit while this girl's still hungry and fresh? Her last fight was 1 round. She's going to be ready to beat she's going to be ready to beat me down. You know what I mean? So she's doing the right thing. I know that from now to September to October is not going to be enough time for her to perfect her jiu-jitsu or her ground game. You know what I mean? But I think she could drill and work on her takedown defense, work on her strength. You're not going to be able to learn everything you need in one camp, to completely nullify Mackenzie Dern. But at least you could sharpen your strength. You could develop your jab, work on your counter punching, your angles, your takedown defense, etc. You know, you put all that together, and she gets a hard training camp, then I would definitely say Marina Rodriguez beats Mackenzie Dern. If as long as she's perfecting all of that all day long, she could beat her. You know, but you're not gonna do that off of 1 month, especially when you took some damage in the Michelle Waterson fight. You know, and Michelle Waterson got you down to the ground. So that was telling me that's another thing. Look, during that Michelle Waterson fight, when she got taken to the ground and she was in that half guard and couldn't get up, right there I said, okay, she's down again and she's helpless. After this fight, she's got to work, man. She's got to work behind the scenes. She's got to train, man. She's got to train. She's got to get a full training camp. So right there, I said that myself. I was saying, nah, you ain't. I'm not even her manager, but I was like, yo, I can't see her take a short notice fight right away, because the next fighter she fights with the ground game, they are going to submit her. They're going to submit her. You know, it's not all about giving the fans what they want. And like I said, I've learned that. I see that. I see these fighters out here with brain damage always doing what the fans want. You know, it's not about that. You know, it's not about that. They'll stay as long as you put on a good fight. They'll come back. Let me go back up here. Hold on. Marcus said, I agree. Marina took that fight just to display bad takedown. Took that fight just to display bad takedown defense again. Then I would roast her. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Stamina said, I back Marina 100. The urgency is artificial, and it's only suggested that there are title implications to factor into a choice like that. The company doesn't have their interests in mind. Wait. That's what I say. What's a couple of months? You know, what's a couple of months to wait? You know, in college, you know, let's say, yeah, this is happening in college, okay? As soon as I turned into a senior, right? Some kids wanted to take the SAT because they were prepared for it, right? I wasn't prepared for it. I wasn't going to just join my friends and them and try to take this SAT, and I'm not prepared for it. You know, I have to take the class one. I have to study what the SAT is about. Just because it's a few weeks away or a month away, just because it's offered, doesn't mean you have to take it. So I didn't take it. You know what I did? I waited till let's see, like the next semester or end of the semester. Yeah, I waited till the end of the semester. You know, I didn't just take it because it was offered to me. I said, nah. I said it's there, but it'll be there eventually down the line. So, you know, I can't say that now. Like, I see people on Instagram, they were talking about it too, saying she was ducking Dern, but she's just trying to get ready for the fight. If they would have offered it in September or October, she would have taken the fight, you know. High five said, I don't know why few people dislike Marina. She's a straightforward kind of person. She doesn't do any drama or has fancy personality just to feed the needs of the MMA fan. I like her, all right, you know. Yeah, I'm a fan of her style. You know, I'm a fan of her style, and I like her resume. She's got some good names on her resume, you know. Has better names than Mackenzie Dern. You know, I'm turning into more of a fan as I see her fight and performances. But like I said, it ain't about me when it comes to their choices. I mean, I want to see this happen, but you can't do that. You can't do that right now. Because the minute you get submitted by Mackenzie Dern on a short notice fight, you're going to get cracked on. You know, everybody's just going to say, you ain't built for this. They're going to say, you ain't built for this game. So build yourself up. Marina's weakness is takedown defense along with not being able to get up. Yeah, I read that. Okay. Oh, hold on. Oh, no, please. What's going on? Oh, it is no please, right? Or is it no PLS? Same thing. No please. What's up? Okay. Takedown defense might be a little harsh critique, as the women who dominated her on the ground are at the higher end of ground game fighters in division. If everyone could do it, it'd be bad. A high five said, let's wait for Andrade Tatiana to return to 115 and stir up the top ranks. No one is safe. Oh, yeah, Tatiana up in there, man. That's it. Marina be looking like she about to cry when she can't get off the ground. Seeing it for her fights with Calvillo, Carla, Michelle, and Marcos. Yeah, I be feeling bad for her, man. I'm just like, yo, like, what do we got to do to get this ground game right? Like, what do we got to do to get you to work on your back? Work off your back, girl. Like, come on. I think she needs to go over to ATT and, see what Joanna's secrets are. Work with Mike Brown and them, right? Yeah, Jackson Weeks still know their ground game. Very few of the Brazilian women wrestle or scramble well. Yeah, like their Brazilian women, they were really good at their, positioning on the ground. But like as far as like the wrestling and the scrambling part, I think that's a technique in itself. Being able to scramble is a technique in itself, because you got to have that athleticism and you got to develop that burst. You got to have the right strength and conditioning to be able to get up off your back, or pop up to your feet. And at one point there was like a part of me thinking the other night when I was kind of plotting this video out. I was thinking like it's up to the fighters to stay ready, in case they call you. Like Caitlin Kagan, she's always ready to answer the call. Angela Hill's always ready to answer the call, to stay ready. But how ready are they? You know what I mean? Like, how ready are they? Like, yeah, they stay ready to answer the call, but are they ready to win all the time? Like Caitlin Kagan, she will answer the call, but she fought 4 times last year, but she was 2-2, right? I mean, Marina Rodriguez wants to go for the belt, so she's not just about answering the call. She doesn't want to go 2-2. She wants to go 3-0 in a year or 4-0 in a year. That's why she's trying to balance it out. Angela Hill, she's in the lower part of the rankings, right? Because she's been taking stay active fights, still hasn't really made great improvements. So I can understand why Marina Rodriguez wants to do this full training camp. That's not asking for much. 2 more months is not asking for much. And maybe they'll push out the Mackenzie Dern opponent. Maybe they'll push that possibility out there. But think about it, y'all. Like, this might be a better thing. Like, who else is trying to come back later this year? Who else is coming back later this year? If Marina Rodriguez waits till September, she wants to come back in September or October. Y'all know who else is trying to come back at the end of the year. And because they ain't getting the title shot, Joanna. Right? If Joanna comes back towards the end of the year, like September or October, we might be getting Marina Rodriguez versus Joanna. And to me, that's the fight I was asking for. That was a much better opponent for her. Higher ranked, perfect style for her, and probably will lead to a title shot. So just because the Dern fight is not there anymore for now, as far as we know, the Joanna fight is there. Joanna's, that might be a possibility because she said she probably will be coming back, and I think it's safe to say it won't be a title shot for Joanna. Joanna says she's been training like every day, getting ready to come back, and they might put her in there with a contender. So let it be Marina, right? That's an even better fight for her. So sometimes waiting is a good thing, man. That's my point. Waiting is a good thing. You wait and don't rush. Better opportunities will come for you. I mean, that's what I think. All right, so let's see, y'all. Ground gamers are more dangerous than the stand-up fighters, but the strikers who develop takedown defense, or at least equip themselves with ground game IQ, they can survive, such as Rose, Joanna, and Wei Lee. Yeah, Joanna's definitely established that, man. You know, Wei Lee's not excuse me, Joanna's definitely a good choice for when you're talking about ground game IQ. She's smart enough to know that I don't want to be a ground fighter. So she's like, yo, let me make sure this takedown defense is on point. All right, Robert said, could just ask for the Dern fight after Joanna didn't respond. If the title is what she wants quicker shot at. However, the Waterson fight may have been choice. Dern could end her. Yeah, Dern could end her. That's why it's good that she's not taking it on short notice. That's my point. Like, Dern could end her. That's why I wouldn't take that fight on short notice, you know? And she didn't say she wanted the title shot quicker. She said that if it comes, it comes. You know? She said if it comes, it comes. At this point, like, that's why she passed up on this opportunity, because she was like, I want to make sure I'm ready for a title shot, you know? Ready for a title shot, so let me get a full training camp, because this fight might lead to one. But she said if it don't come this year, you know, she's just going to train like she is, which is smart. That's smart to me. Now, I mean, she could say, let me get Dern in September or October, but I don't know. Like, Mackenzie Dern might want to come back in July, so they probably got to line up somebody for Mackenzie Dern now. Like, you know, Nick Maynard and them, they're probably like, we still want Mackenzie Dern on this card in July, so we're going to have to get her another opponent, you know? That's why I'm not even going to call Marina Rodriguez a duck. I mean, when I see her resume and who she's fought, you know, maybe I'll feel like maybe she has made some bad choices with what she say. But I mean, as far as her resume, you know, she's been fighting. You know, she's been fighting people. You know, she's definitely been taking on fighters. I mean, yeah, she's got to work on her ground game, but let her, you know, work on her takedown defense. Well, let her work on that. You know, I'm not gonna put her in there. That's why I said, nah, like, you can't rush a fight with Dern, especially if, like you're saying, you know, if everybody's prediction is gonna be like Mackenzie Dern is gonna twist her like a pretzel, or Mackenzie Dern is gonna, you know, twist her leg off, or, you know, break her arm, then I'm not ready to see that fight then, because I want the fight to be competitive. To me, short notice fights are, you know, fights where the rankings are kind of far apart. Like, if you're a number 5 and you want to stay busy, you fight an unranked fighter, you fight a number 15. But when you get to like number 3 and number 4 fighting, number 5 and 6, sure, you know, they can make a short notice fight if they both acknowledge it, but you can't force another fighter to take it if they don't want it. Gordon, what's up? Gordon said, I wouldn't mind seeing Joanna versus Claudia 3. Joanna versus Claudia 3. You know what Joanna's going to do, right? Joanna's going to do half of what she did and still dominate. Prediction? Yeah, I'm going to go with Joanna all day. Joanna by decision. I mean, decision, but, you know, it's going to be run by that beautiful jab. Bluebird said Rodriguez is too limited for a top 5, but a fight against Joanna would be fun. JJ isn't getting a fight against the champ. Nobody wants to see it. I think I I can't say she's limited after what I've seen from Yan Janan. I think after seeing what Yan Janan looked against Carla, you know, that kind of evens the odds up a little bit. You know, I think that Michelle Rodriguez has good chances. I think Michelle Rodriguez does have good chances in the top 5. You know, especially, did I say Michelle or Marina? Yeah, Marina. I thought I said Michelle Rodriguez. No, Marina Rodriguez. Marina Rodriguez has good chances against the some top fives like Joanna, Jan, even maybe Wei Lee. Like, if she got that jab going, who knows? Like, that's her strike. That's her bread and butter. So I think that Marina is in a good place right now. I think she is good for the top five, especially if you compare it to the others like Jan, and even Carla. Carla. I think there's just so many like different styles in the top seven, in top five, where it's like anything could happen. Nobody's well rounded enough like Valentina to make it guaranteed that Valentina is going to be champion. That's the thing I like about strawweight. Yeah, Joanna would massacre for Claudia if they fought again. Rose's ground game is underrated. It gets overlooked because of the striking ability. Nah, just her ground game. Bluebird. I've seen her ground game. I mean, on my part, I have. I know what you mean, though. Robert said the Michelle fight may have been the measuring stick she needed for how hard she has to work to get past. So that was a good point you made. Yeah, like, that was enough to tell us if I can't beat a small fighter and knock her out, and the small fighter can take me to the ground, I have to work on certain things. There's certain things I got to work on. High five. If Joanna ever fought Marina, I believe Joanna will choke her or Marina will armbar her. That's her plan. I think Marina would try to go for a knockout. Like, I think Marina could hurt her with the right hand. Stammer says Marina said wild stuff. I don't think so. Not that I know of. I don't. I mean, she hasn't called anybody out. That's why I feel like people think she's too quiet. But that's all right. I mean, I'm quiet, so I'll be quiet for the most part around people. So I like the fact that she hasn't really said much. That she doesn't say wild stuff. Yeah, I've never really heard her say any wild stuff before. Like, I just can't get like mad because she's not giving me what I want. I mean, that's the fight game. I mean, if she's giving us something close to that and she's winning, that's fine. I mean, I'm not, like I said, she's not my action figure. She's not my toy where I can tell her what to do. You know what I mean? Like, if you're taking the right path and you're still winning and you're climbing the ranks, that's all we need to see you do. I guess her thing is to let the resume speak. You know what I mean? Like, she'll get a fight. She'll get a fight in September, or October. I think it's gonna be a good fight too. Like I said, if it ain't Dern, she probably will be getting that fight with Joanna. It's a high possibility now. All roads kind of lead to that because Joanna's coming back sometime, like I said, towards the end of summer, and she wants to take that time out. So I think it's going to come to that point where they say, "This is your opponent. Joanna, take it or leave it." And she said she would fight you. She said she would fight Joanna. So yeah, Angela Hill won that Claudia fight. I feel like Gordon. Yeah. High five. Only a few fighters love saying wild stuff. I mean, the wildest stuff you hear as of lately, like when it comes to wild stuff, Rose said some crazy stuff. Rose been talking crazy, and Joanna always talks crazy. They're like the number. They're like the only two fighters that really talk crazy in the strawweight division. I mean, we used to have Beck and Angela Magana. I mean, Angela Hill still talk crazy sometimes. They're the fighters that say wild stuff. You know, like Beck was one. Angela Hill, uh, Angela Magana. Yeah, and like I said, Rose and Joanna, they just saying wild stuff. But, Zhang Wei Li and Yan, they don't even speak English. So, Carla doesn't really say anything wild. Marina's not saying anything wild. Mackenzie Dern, she's not talking crazy. And I mean, I like fighters to be shocking sometimes, but yeah, I don't really hear all that buffoonery sometimes. Just keep performing. You know what I mean? Sometimes actions speak louder than words. So I'd rather just see the fighters, put on good fights and talk crazy and not back it up. Marcus says this is Claudia who gasses out faster. She would have no chance against Joanna unless she shows that her gas tank is up to par. Nah, like her gas tank is never gonna be up to par for Joanna. Oh boy, here we go with this circling thing, man. It's like, all right, I think we're back. Damn. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Maybe it's just my service on that. Hang on, y'all. Just checking something here. Oh, here we go. All right. Yeah, I was just checking something. Hang on, y'all. Just checking something here. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, the most she said, like Marina Rodriguez just said, she's not really going to change how she is for fans or something like that. And she's never really like called people out. Um, I would like to hear her call more people out. I would like to hear her say, "I want this fight," and so and so. But this ain't really I really don't think this is a situation where she's not calling anybody out or ducking. Like she's ducking somebody. She's just wanting the time to prepare for a fight. Because the same things we say that she lacks, she has to take the time out to work, right? That's the major point here. That's the major point here, right? For what we say she lacks, it takes time to work on that. So a fighter has to take the time to sit down, not sit down, but sit out. High five, said you checked out Whaley's cousin recently in 1FC. Not yet. I haven't got a chance to yet. I haven't. I will high five. I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch. I will. Yeah. So what I was saying, for how MMA fans, WMMA fans, we critique and we criticize Marina Rodriguez and her ground game and so on. We talk about her weaknesses all the time, right? Well, to improve those weaknesses, you need to take time out and you have to take a full training camp to grow as a fighter, right? So let this be the time. She's already given us 2 short notice fights. She's going in there with a Dern. Or, she had that offer, but she's like, I can't do that right now because I want to grow. I want to get rid of what y'all criticize, or at least want to work on that. So you can't have it both ways. You can't have a fighter keep fighting and not improve. And expect them to improve on a fight by fight basis at like a short time span. That there has to be training camps. There has to be full training camps in between, to get better. Yeah, stamina. Yeah, nobody really like a big talker. I mean, when you go to flyweight, you got the talkers like Caitlin and Jessica all them fighters talking trash. Uh, you know, but yeah, strawweight don't really have a lot of talkers. I mean, you got a lot of hard workers in the strawweight division, and you notice that, right? Like the division with less amount of talkers is the one that has like division with the best fighters. It's the division with the best. But yeah, man. Let me see what time it is. Let's see. Almost 2 hours. We almost at the 2 hour mark. Probably get off of here in a second. Um, we'll talk a little bit more here. Mark said Tisha Torres looks to improve her grappling in BJJ by competing in BJJ tournaments. Yeah, she should. She's very strong. She should. So let's see what else we got this weekend. It's fight weekend, right? June 5th. Oh yeah, we got Manon Firo versus Marina Moreau this weekend. Yeah, and then we got Montana De La Rosa versus Ariane Lipsky this weekend. All right, so I'm really looking forward to the Manon fight more so, because this is a fight to tell us what what Manon offers. Yeah, Manon Firo is a pretty decent striker. Pretty big flyweight. Right. Okay. Stammer said, "What mess? Oh, what mess? I know you ain't talking about Manon Firo. Are you talking about Floyd or you mean Floyd and Logan Paul? I hope you're talking about Floyd and Logan Paul. Yeah, because Manon Firo, I know you ain't talking about that. I was like, Stammer, I know you better than that to think Manon Firo was mess. You got to be talking about Floyd versus Logan Paul. Yeah, you retracted that. Okay. Colton, my thoughts on Logan Paul versus Floyd. I'm not watching it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I figured that, Stamina. That was like, he got to be talking about what Colton was talking. Yeah, I'm not watching that Floyd Logan Paul fight. Manny got a real fight lined up that I'm watching against Errol Spence in August, but I'm not watching that fight. Floyd, whatever his name is, Logan Paul. Yeah, man. So yeah, we got this fight coming up too. Manon Firo versus Marina Moreau. I'm looking forward to this one. I'll probably do a quick pick on it later this week. I think that Manon, off of what I've seen, she's gonna be a problem. I think she's definitely gonna be a problem. I think she has some things that's gonna nullify Marina Moreau. She's big, she's strong, good striker, very good, side kicks, good body attack. Marina Moreau's a good boxer. She's fast hands, but I don't know if she's ever really faced a fighter with this type of size before. I don't know if she can handle this type of size. I feel like Manon Firo is gonna do whatever she wants when it comes down to the striking or fighting on the ground. I like this matchup. As far as being able to showcase what Manon could possibly do and move on towards. Just like Victoria Leonardo, I told y'all I was like, yo, I think she's gonna stop Victoria Leonardo, and no knock to Victoria Leonardo. She just is a high-paced fighter that's wide open, and Manon Firo can capitalize on them openings. And yeah, just studying Manon Firo, I was like, yeah, I know she's gonna go in there and stop Victoria Leonardo, and she did that. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards her stopping Marina Moreau. If I have to give you an early pick, I think Manon Fiorot is going to do some serious damage in this fight. I think she's going to be going to the body. She's going to control the clinch. I think she's going to slow down the boxing and the footwork of Marina Moreau. And, she'll probably take it to the ground a few times, So I'm gonna go with Manon in this fight as an early pick. Like I said, I'll come back and give it to you for sure. But that's what I'm looking at right now. Yeah, Stamina. I saw some clips of it. I never really sat down and watched Conor versus Floyd like all the way through. I remember just like looking at a little bit of it. Robert Henry said my pick with that fight with her against Dern likely won't change with a full training camp, but if she does go in there and stops Dern, I will be impressed. You said your pick won't change with a full training camp. I can't say that on my side. No, I definitely can't say that. I definitely can't say that because if she takes it on short notice, I'm gonna lean towards Dern. But if Marina goes for a full training camp and if it happens in September, October, I think the fight would be about even. I think Dern Rodriguez would be even, on a legit full fight camp turnaround. Short notice, I'm gonna say Dern just because she's fresh. She's gonna get it to the ground and she'll look for that submission win, and she'll take advantage of whatever whatever possibilities with injuries or whatever she hasn't had as far as recovery time. She's gonna take advantage of that. So yeah, my pick would definitely change. Full training camp, I think Rodriguez would be stronger, refreshed, sharper. She'd be able to make weight on time. Y'all got to think of that too, making weight. You take this fight in July, there's going to be a lot of rushing, and that would really affect the performance of Rodriguez. But if you stretch it out to October, it's going to be more of an even fight. Like I haven't gave y'all my pick on that if it was to happen because it's not signed, but I would see it as being a more competitive fight. Marcus said you can't be slow trying to fight Manon. No, you can't. You can't be slow fighting her. She's fast. Gordon said, who are you picking in Montana versus Ariane? Both are respectable grapplers. Rose is a 3-time All-American wrestler. Brown Brett, BJJ. Ariane's a purple belt. I don't know. It's hard to say because both of those fighters, it really depends on who shows up. Who shows a few more levels to their game. I'm going to go with I had to stop myself. Let me think for a second. I was going to just blurt out an answer. Let me think for a second on that, Gordon. I'll probably do a pick on it later this week. Let me think, Gordon, before I just give you my pick. Because, yeah, you got to factor in some different things. And, yeah, let me think about that pick. Because that is on their level. They are unranked fighters. On their level, it is a competitive fight. You can't really just say this person going to dust them. And I like to predict, so I'll come back to that one, Gordon. In a video, not in this live stream. Stamina said Jillian, like McKenzie, needs opponents to dirty her up a bit in sparring. They need to get more. They need to get more used to getting hit. They need to get more used to getting hit to develop better evasion or defense. G-Rob in particular wilts quickly. Robert said, I wonder who will mess up first in that Montana Ariane fight. That's the question, right? I always predict blood in her fights, and I'm right, though. Yeah, that was all me. That wasn't the stream that time. I had to stop my pick on that one. I was about to just blur out an answer just because I thought I was, on to something. But I said, let me think about that. To me, it seems more likely that Montana gets her way on the ground more so than Ariane. De La Rosa leaks easy, but isn't afraid of ruckus. I think she has more ways to win. Yeah, like that's why I had to. I'm thinking because like De La Rosa, like I give her, I give her an A for effort in her fights. Like she never quits. Like I give her an A for effort. That's why I would like to see more development from her. She's a fighter that likes to doesn't mind getting little damage. She'll keep coming. She will show great heart. Like I will give Montana that. That's why even when I was watching her in the Tough House before and a few of her old fights, I was like, man, this girl is like tough. Like she keeps coming. Like takes a few hits. Nah, man, she'll take a barrage and still be in the game. It takes a lot to take Montana down. That's why I think they're wasting a lot of time in developing her. She needs to be with the right team. She needs to be that right team to get her right because she has a lot of good things about her. She's big, she's strong, she's tough, she's got guts. I think the one thing she lacks is a lot of technical things like the IQ, stuff like that. But Montana's always game though. I think that'll help her in this fight. Yeah, I know Ariane, she's been working with Nunes too, but that's, we'll see if that really helps develop into a fight. Because Nunes is her. We'll see if that can rub off. G-Rob got work in with Wonder Boy. If they leave it at the octagon door, it was all for nothing. Yeah. I think that G-Rob, she need to be linked up with fighters like, Amanda Serrano, Clarissa Shields. Jillian needs to link up with like the Serranos. What is that girl's name just fought? Claire Belinda. What's her name? She works with Leah McCourt and Bellator, boxer. Yeah, Jillian Robinson needs to work with some of these female boxers. She's got to work with Clarissa Shields, Amanda Serrano, um, those girls with sharp hands. Mm, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Robert Henry said, keep in mind, I said likely change. If I see something about Marina that makes me feel different, I might change it. Yeah. I mean, right now, I think Marina has what it takes to beat Dern, but not on a short notice. I think she has what it takes, and I think Dern has what it takes. But to make it a competitive fight on an even playing field, we gotta let this thing just you know get right for the next couple of months, right? Let the fighters get right for a couple of months. It's really all gonna come down to who can execute their game plan first, or exercise their strength first. Andrea bloodied up Montana. Yeah, she did. Gordon had it. Gordon just want to talk about Andrea Lee again. That's all it is. Gordon just want to bring up Andrea Lee. That's all. Andrea bloodied up Montana and Antonina destroyed Lipsky in 2 rounds. But I'm thinking they learned a lot from their losses. Their striking may show improvement this time. Montana does have a nice right hand. Montana does have some decent punches. And Ariane Lipsky has a nice straight right hand. She was able to tag Antonina a few times with them punches. Montana got a good right hand. I just need to see more. I need to see a little bit more speed to it. Because she was hitting Viviana Rufo with some big punches in that fight, man. I was like, damn, okay. All right. Hey, Mary, what's going on? Mary said my Wi-Fi is going bad. Just wanted to say hi. Yeah, what's going on, Mary? Well, Mary, if you can, what are your thoughts on Marina Rodriguez not taking the Mackenzie Dern fight? If you can squeeze that in, Mary, I know your Wi-Fi is no good, but let me know what you think real quick, if you can. What do you think about Marina Rodriguez not taking Mackenzie Dern on short notice? That's crazy. Everybody else's Wi-Fi has been acting up except mine for a change. First Stamina's, now Mary's. That's everybody else's for a change, right? Of course you were, Gordon. You were just prefacing. I know, prefacing. I know you were just prefacing my remark. Okay. But you are a believer. Oh, Mary thinks she's a coward for it. Come on, Mary. Yeah, you missed out on the whole conversation about that. I pretty much went in, but I pretty much gave my points, and I don't think she's a coward. I just wanted to know what you thought, but damn, you think she's a coward for that? Nah, not at all. Coach Energy. Oh man, did he say something? Yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't even know he had went in about it. I didn't get a chance to watch nothing really. I just saw her. I just watched her interview, and I read the interview. So I said, let me talk about it because I gotta get there before everybody else. I didn't know. I didn't even know. Yeah, I don't think she's a coward. Not at all, man. Like I said, there's work to be done. As a fighter, man, there's work to be done. You got to grow. You took two short notice fights. You can't please everybody. And this is a good example of what Marina Rodriguez said. That's why you can't really change for the fans because you're not going to be able to please them all. You're not going to be able to please the fans. So I'm glad that she made her choice not to take the fight. Dern is not a slouch. You don't take a Dern fight on short notice. You don't take a Dern fight on short notice, especially if you want to go for a title shot. You got to do what you got to do to get better. Because if you don't, you if Rodriguez took this fight on short notice and she got twisted like a pretzel, y'all would clown her, right? But if she don't take the fight, she's a coward. You can't. That's what I'm saying. You can't win with fans. Like I said, everybody got their opinion. Mary, you got your opinion, but I'm just saying, that's why Marina Rodriguez really shouldn't care what fans think at this point. Yeah, because you can't win with fans. If you take the fight on short notice and you get twisted up and you get submitted by Dern, they'll clown you. They'll say you have no ground game. You're weak. You suck. Get out of here. That's what they're going to tell her. That's what y'all are going to say. But if she doesn't take the fight, she's a coward. So which is it? Coward if you don't take the fight. You suck if you lose. So why not just do you? I think you just gotta do you at this point. Who cares what the fans think? Nah. Mary said not so much of the thought of fighting her scares Marina, but Marina is scared to lose because how close she is. I don't. That makes sense. That makes sense. You don't want to risk losing, not when it's this close. So you got to take the time to prepare for it. That's my thing. You got to take the time to prepare for a fight. Give a fighter a couple of months. Come on. September's right around the corner. Oh, coach says she should have taken it. Nah. I don't think she should have taken it. If somebody else gets the Dern fight, that's fine. I think the Joanna fight might be there for her in September, October. That's what I was talking about earlier. If you hold out a little bit longer, a better opportunity will come. You can't always please the fans. That's my main thing. And it's like she said too, if she's not sure if it is there. She did say that if it doesn't come, they still want to keep preparing for a title. They want to prepare and make sure they're ready for when the opportunity comes. Like, if it comes next year, fine. She said that in the interview. No, Mary, they weren't going to have a full training camp. That's the point. Like, she just fought, so it wasn't going to be a full training camp. They want to throw her right back in there with Dern. And like I said, Dern right now is not a short notice fight. Dern is not food. This is a main, this ain't a snack. This is a main course. This ain't, like, no offense, this ain't a Hannah Cyphers fight. This ain't a fight you take on a couple weeks notice or a month notice. You got to make sure you're somewhat prepared for it. So there is no excuses. Yeah, yeah. If she didn't take the fight with a full training camp, that's cowardly, right? But there's no full training camp. But it's like I said, if you get a victory, if you get the opportunity to fight Joanna in September, October, and she takes that, then you really can't say she was ducking anybody because she held out for a better opportunity. You get a better opportunity against Joanna, which will lead to a title shot. Y'all know that will, because Joanna's number 2 right now. You beat Joanna, hey, you can't say nothing, because really the fight that was mentioned was the Joanna fight before the Dern fight. Dern's name just came up in July, but she was like, no, I'm not ready for that. Makes sense. Makes all the sense. It really came out of nowhere, right? Because Joanna was the name that was talked about after the Michelle Waterson fight. She acknowledged that fight. She was like, everybody wants me to fight either Yan Janan or fight Joanna. The fans want to see me fight Joanna. I'll take that fight. If it happens, I'll take it. So that was probably what she was kind of having in mind. And then they threw this fight at her in July, Mackenzie Dern. And she like, hold on, I just fought. And y'all want me to go in there, take on, a high-ranked fighter on short notice? My plan was to come back in September, October. And I know she probably would have came back against Mackenzie Dern in September, October. Robert Henry said, I'm sitting here eating good food, so I have no idea what the birthday meal gonna be tomorrow. Oh, the birthday's tomorrow. Okay. Well, if I'm not on tomorrow, let me go ahead and say happy early birthday, Robert Henry. Maybe I should just treat myself to a treadmill. Hey, that would be, yeah, do that. A mile for every year. Yeah, do a mile for every year, Robert. However old you are, that's how many miles you got to run, bro. Yeah, so treat yourself, man. Go ahead and treat yourself now. But yeah, happy early birthday to Robert Henry. Every fight is a record risk. All she can do is believe she's done all she can to prepare, then the win or losses, whatever it ends up being. Time and not opponent. Yeah. Mr. Lee, short notice sounds like a good nickname. Short notice should be Angela Hill's nickname. Short notice or Caitlin Jakagan. Hannah Cyphers. Short notice. Or if you got knockout power or something like that, short notice would be a good nickname. If the Dern thing falls through, there will be other opportunities. Exactly. UFC can't bench a fighter ranked as high as her. Maybe she gets JJ or Weili or John. It's not a definitive title eliminator. Wait, that's my point, Stammer. Yeah, like good. That's a good point. Yeah, exactly. Like Dern's not the end of the world, man. Dern is not the end of the world. Like I said, somebody's trying to come back in October or September. If Mackenzie Dern, that fight don't happen, Joanna's right around the corner, right around the time Marina Rodriguez wants to return. So better opportunities coming. I said that. In Xiaonan, yeah, like Dern's not really a guarantee. See, Carla versus Yan, that was a guaranteed title eliminator, right? That was pretty much guaranteed. And I think with Marina's momentum right now, the way she's kind of in the middle, it would be stupid for them to bench her. I don't think they will bench her right now. I don't think they're going to bench Marina Rodriguez. You know, if you were like number 10, or something like that, I think they would, but I don't see them benching Marina Rodriguez right now. Mary Thomas said, I said the same thing about JJ. She rescheduled her flyweight bout against Val. Coach and others believe wholeheartedly that she ducked, but I've said that Val isn't a short notice fight. I've said that about Jessica Andrade too. I said that about Jessica Andrade. Jessica Andrade did not want to fight Valentina on a month notice. She wanted to wait. I mean, granted, we saw what happened, but that would have been stupid of her to fight on a 1 month notice against the pound for pound best fighter in the world. You know what I mean, Mary? That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, Joanna would reschedule. I mean, shoot. I said Jessica Andrade should reschedule that fight. You know, that's my logic. You know what I mean? Like, nobody gonna tell me what to do. That's how I feel. Like, I kind of put myself in the fighter's shoes and just say, you can't do everything for the fans. You know, you gotta make your own choices, like smart choices. Just because somebody throws something at you, throws you a bone, don't mean you got to take it all the time. Like I said, like when I took my, like I said, when I'm taking these exams, sometimes I'm like, no, like if I'm not ready, I'm not ready. I got to prepare for it. You know, I know it's right around the corner. I could do it now. That's just a convenience thing, but it's not really convenient if I fail my exam. You know what I mean? Like, you got to push it out and prepare for the exam. Not ducking an exam. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not at all ducking the exam. I just want to make sure I'm ready for it. When I took my SAT, like I said, I didn't duck the first date. You know, my senior year, I didn't duck the first date. I wasn't ready for it. So I took it a few months out. Boom, I passed it. You know, my certification for whatever my certain certifications I take. I ain't going to take it on this date. Don't mean I'm ducking it. I'm just not ready for it. When I'm prepared, boom, I take it. I ace them, you know. That's just my point. Like I said, like, I don't really see her being like a duck in this situation. Like, I guess to me, like, to duck somebody, just say, man, I ain't fighting that person at all. I don't, I don't want that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence. Like, Keith Thurman, that's like been one of the that's like a major example of what a duck is. You know, that's major. That's what you call a duck for sure. But if you just holding out for a better opportunity, in a better chance, that's not really a duck. Not at all. You say a stamina, it'd be easy to check if any of her post-fight interviews mentioned wanting to return around September or whatever. or read the interview that I just read that says she wants to come back in September or October. Yeah, do a mile for each. Yeah, do a mile for each year. Double that life expectancy. Oh man. But yeah, we've been on for a minute. We've been talking about that. Yeah, you know, I just wanted to get your thoughts, Mary, while you was in there. So I said, let's see what Mary got to say. I said, Mary said Marina's a daggone coward. I'm like, wow. Like I said, everybody got their opinion, but I don't think she's a coward or a duck in this situation. I gotta let a person get right. You know what I mean? Like, it's the fight game. I know we're supposed to see fights, but we still need training camps. We still got to get full training camps. Everybody got to get right. All right. So yeah, we pretty much talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about these predictions too. We talked about predictions. Okay, so I am really leaning towards Marina. Excuse me, I'm leaning towards Manon Firo in this Marina Moreau fight. I'm leaning towards Manon Firo, and Montana versus Ariane. I'm not sure yet. I got to think about that. I might just do a quick prediction on that one later this week. I think it's going to be an explosive fight. I mean, there is going to be blood in that fight. I mean, Montana and Ariane, there is going to be blood. So, yeah. Ooh, thank you for saying that, Robert. Anything still under 40 is very young. Thanks for saying that. Giving me a little bit more time. Let me get a little more time to hold on to my youth then. I'm still young, so let me act a fool for a few more years. Yeah, Robert. Okay, if I'm under 40, shoot, let me act a fool a few more years. Even though I haven't been. So let me backtrack, act like a fool. Mary says, so I have to stick to my logic and decide, since this is a short notice. I can't call it ducking, but next year when Dern will and might eventually cross Marina, she best be ready. And we don't, yeah, Marina, not Marina, but Mary, if it don't happen, if Dern doesn't fight in July, it might happen in September, October. If Dern doesn't fight in July and they schedule her in September, October, Marina said she would take the fight because she said she wanted to come back in September, October. And if they gave her that fight, I'm sure she would take it then. Because her sole purpose of waiting was not because of the opponent. Like, she wasn't ducking the opponent. It was the sole purpose of not having a full training camp. That's what it came down to for her, like not being able to train fully the way she felt she needed to. It wasn't like, she was saying straight up like, oh, I'm scared of Dern. No, like she was just trying to prepare for the challenge ahead, That's what it's about. But yeah, we about to roll out, man. I probably won't be back on until Friday. Got stuff to do tomorrow and the day after. So yeah, we'll definitely be back on this weekend. We're gonna be back on this weekend. Stammer say act the fool while you still can. He said motherfuckers gonna tell you you should know better eventually. And they'll be right. Right, yeah, like they'll say, yeah, you should know better when you get to that age, but we getting there though. That's why I said let me go ahead and do what Robert Henry said, since under 40 is still very young. So let me see what I can get into over this weekend. This at least said Ali Boma. Yeah. Ali, man, one of the greatest of all time, man. Greatest fighter. Definitely. Yeah, what else we got in July? Wilder Fury. Yeah, the third fight. I'll probably talk about that tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Yeah, the next show I do. I'll talk about Devin Haney and his fight in boxing. So, yeah, it's the stuff I got to talk about, man. But yeah, y'all. Let's see. Final thoughts. Yeah, like I said, Carla, going all the way back to Carla. Carla, she deserves her fight. Let's give it to her. Carla Esparza, throw her in there. Namajunas, Esparza 2, make it happen. Enough said, right? Namajunas, Esparza 2. Yeah, we need that fight. Let's make that fight happen. Namajunas, Esparza 2. It just needs to happen. As for Cynthia Calvillo, I don't know. When it comes down to her grappling versus Valentina, I don't think she has the best grappling. I mean, honestly, I like Calvillo. I like her as a fighter. I like her grit. But when you comparing it to Valentina, nah, that's just a different level. There's just some things you just have to acknowledge. You just really have to acknowledge. No, we didn't. Stamina. Shoot, I meant to talk about that too. Cachoeira, Eubank moving down to 125. Man, we got to talk about that tomorrow. Maybe I'll do that on the go. I'm gonna be on the go tomorrow, so we'll talk about it while I'm, on the move. Cause it's not like a major fight, but yeah, let's talk about that tomorrow on the go. I'll schedule that tomorrow. We'll do that around 5, I guess. That's my only free time, like around 5 to talk about that. If I have time, or we might hold off. Who knows? Or maybe Friday. I don't know. Yeah, and final thoughts. Yeah, Marina, not a coward. Not a duck. Give her a couple of months to get her full training camp. Already gave us 2 short notice fights. Let her do what she got. Let her do what she got to do, man. You can't please fans. You can't please every fan. Your fans ain't gonna pay your bills. Your fans ain't gonna pay your bills when your arm is broke. Make the moves that's best for you. As long as you got plans. I mean, she does got a plan to come back, so I can't say. Gordon said, looking forward to Priscilla versus Sarge. Definitely a good matchup. Yeah, Sarge definitely got to make weight. You got to make weight. All right, yo. But, yeah, like always, make sure y'all subscribe. Newcomers that came in. Shout out to the chat. And, again, if I don't get on, happy birthday to Robert Henry. And happy birthday to his brother, Savage WMMA. Yeah, Mary, we already talked about Carla versus Rose. That was like the first thing. Everybody said, let's talk about that first. So we did that first. And yeah, Stamina, take care, man. Yeah, prudence is the best part of Valor, especially in combat sports. Yes, sir. Yeah. Like always, like I said, to the newcomers, thanks for coming into the chat, everybody. Make sure y'all subscribe. I am out of here. Combo Breaker 99. Make sure y'all subscribe. Peace.